People with autism have a strength in visual perception, and they also have a deficit in understanding, listening to, comprehending verbal communication. Organizing and attending to materials and understanding what is important is really difficult for people with autism. Another way to say that would be that once they're attending to one thing, they have a really intense focus on that one thing, and they have trouble shifting their attention to other things in the environment. So external organizations are really important to help them know what should they be focusing on and to maintain that attention and not get overwhelmed by other things in the environment, and then it helps them shift their attention from one thing to another. A visual schedule equates to what most adults use in their daily life in terms of like a day planner. We have a list of everything we're going to do throughout the day. Well, a visual schedule can be a written schedule for a person with autism. Oftentimes for children who are younger or an adult with autism who's a non-reader, a visual schedule is each of the activities in their day represented in one picture. So for example, when the person wakes up, it might say breakfast. Then the next thing on their schedule is go to school, and then the next thing on their schedule, whatever it is that they're going to do at school. So it's a visual representation of what's going to happen throughout the day. I have seen kids who are totally dependent on adult prompts become independent, moving throughout their day, learning to move from one area in a school building to another area in a school building without adult support or without support of someone else. The most important thing about visual schedules is that they have to meet the individual needs of the child. And once the child has a system that he understands or she understands, that system can be used to teach any number, anything else that child needs to learn, and it can be used in a lot of different environments. So people say, well, what am I going to do when the child's in the general education setting? If the child understands the visual system he or she is using, that system can go into a general education setting, to a workplace, and be used to help the child function independently. Look at, is this one, what color is it? The federal government just
schedule when that child does not yet understand that a picture represents a specific item in his environment. Here's an example of an object schedule where you use actual objects from the environment for the child's scheduling of daily activities. If you look through this, the child's day might look like first going to bubbles and blowing bubbles with a peer or with a therapist or teacher, progressing to a puzzle, and here we have a farm puzzle. Following the puzzle, it would be a book. If you look under the book, you see a roll of toilet paper. That represents the bathroom. We obviously can't bring the bathroom into the schedule, but we need to have something from that environment. Below that we have a horn, and the last thing on our schedule is shoes, representing it's time to put our shoes on and leave this environment.
Once you've determined that a child is able to follow an object schedule, you can then move to a more sophisticated type of schedule, which would be using miniatures of the objects to represent the actual concrete object. This is an example of a miniature object schedule. The child would take off the first item, which may be the bubbles, and match it to the area with the bubbles in the classroom or whatever environment they're in. Then the child might go to the schedule and there's the bathroom icon. So again, they're going to take that icon and match it to the bathroom. And then the last in the sequence would be the miniature book, which the child would then take off this small book and match it to the book area.
This is an example of a photograph schedule. One thing to consider when developing a photograph schedule is making sure that the photographs are not too distracting. Use a solid colored background or put it against the wall so that that object is the only thing represented in the photograph. For this schedule, we're going to use a time for activity. So when it's time for our bubbles, the child will remove it from the schedule and place it on the to-do or time for list. When the activity is finished, he will place it into the all done pocket and progress to the next item on the schedule, which in this case is puzzle. He will do that all the way until his daily activity is completed.
This is an example of line drawings. The first one shows colored line drawings and then progresses on to the black and white line drawings. There's a couple important things to note about this schedule. The first would be that we are using general icons on this with the work and the play. The second is that we're using two different color backgrounds. The work has a blue background, the play has a green background, so that to help the child discriminate between the two. The third thing to notice would be that we have circles instead of the square pictures that we have been using. And this is for children that maybe have a communication system, a communication book where they're already using the square rectangular pictures. To use this schedule, what we're doing is matching, the child will match his name and go on to the first icon, which is work. It's time to work. When work is finished, it goes in the all done pocket. Next, it's time for play. After play is finished, again, that goes in the all done pocket. And we'll go down the line.
Good morning, good morning, good morning to you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Beth, how many friends are here today?
9.
9. We have 9 children here today.
But look at cousins.
Beth, which one's number 9? Good job, Beth. Can you tell all of our friends there are
9 children here today. 9 children here today.
very good, Beth. Thank you. Good morning. It's finished. All done. What did Kate tell us? That today is cloudy. It's a cloudy day. Oh, it's a cloudy day. We all shout hooray! Because it's a cloudy day. Good job, Kate.
January, February, March, and April, May, and June, and July, and August, September, October, November, December. These are the months of the year.
Communication displays assist students with the language needed to interact with a book or another language activity. Picture communication symbols can be used in a variety of formats to support language and comprehension.
Here comes the shark. Shake, 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 shake. That's not the shark. Was she scared? What'd she do? She just kept on walking. She's such a big heart. And what do you make when you put it all together? You made a scarecrow. Okay, so clonk, clonk with the shoes. Put them on.
Picture communication symbols not only allow teachers to individualize communication attempts for their students, but it also gives them an array of options for creating interactive language materials.
Last thing, the scariest thing of all was boo, boo, with the scary pumpkin head. Okay, so here we go. Do you remember we sleep when it's nighttime, right?
At 8 hours in daytime.
That's right, but the owls sleep in the daytime when it's noisy outside. So I'm going to teach you a song that has all the characters in our story, Goodnight Owl, okay? It's got the owl who is trying to sleep and the birds who are making all kinds of noises. That's right, because it's daytime and we're up going to school and going to work and trying to... This is the tree concert. Oh. Yeah, and it's got some of the characters. It's got the squirrel, and remember there's a bee in the story.
A raven.
Or a crow. Yeah, caw, caw with the crow.
An owl.
And the owl, who's the main character. See, the story is about crunch, crunch with the squirrel, buzz, buzz with the bee, caw, caw owl with the crow high up in the tree. All the birds flapped their wings as they began to sing. Quiet, yelled the owl, I can't sleep. Okay, so it was daytime and now it is